varsity B team had a good season this year. We ended up finishing 7-6-1 with our one. Probably the guys would most remember a tie against Cushing, which you're like, do we really want to celebrate a tie? But we do, because the first time we had played Cushing, they took it to us pretty easily. And then the second time when we had them at home, if it weren't for an Aiden Roy howitzer from the blue line, they're chuckling because it trickled in, and I think it may have bounced on their goalie with 50 seconds left to tie it 2-2. Just shows the resiliency that this group had this year. We have a lot of young players that have really bright futures within the program, and it's something that we are very proud of, the work that we did this year, both Coach Dawson and I. Our first two players that I would like to recognize and bring up to the stage would be our captains. Certainly there's not a measure of success in a season if it weren't for leadership, and that's leadership from the coaching staff, but also from the players. And our two captains this year, one was a 4-year senior and one was his first year in the program. And I think for our boys to recognize early the leadership qualities in both of these young men was astounding. So our two captains for the season were Chase Porter and Seth McKenna. You guys can stay right up. No, stay up. Stay up. No, don't worry about it. I want to recognize you guys. Okay. Our first award, I've got two coaches awards to hand out. And when we talk about leadership, I often preach to our group. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have a letter on your jersey. In fact, if it weren't for these guys buying button-on letters midway through the season, we don't even have letters on our jersey to notify who our captains are. So I remember partway through the season, I just sort of looked over to Coach Dawson at a practice once, and I just said, he's really stepped up, even though he doesn't have a letter, and even though he is one of our underclassmen. He's accepted a lot of different roles, and I've said to him pregame, hey, I may use you up front today, or hey, I'm going to keep you on the back end. Everything short of throwing him in net to play goalie, which I'm sure he would have done. He has a really bright future, I think, not only as an ice hockey player, but as a leader amongst his peers in this community. And our first coach's award goes to a kid who stepped up to the plate for the team all year, and that's Ryan Termell. And our last coach's award is definitely a guy that deserves a ton of recognition just for his work ethic alone. Not only was his level of play rock solid for us all year, he pulled double duty a lot. And it was his choice to pull double duty a lot. The patience and the resiliency that you have to show mid-COVID as your games may or may not be happening, and guys go out sick and injuries happen. This player really stepped up and I think serviced the overall good of the boys ice hockey program, and I would be remiss not to give him some recognition for what he brought to our team specifically. He was rock solid in net for us all year. He played a few games. He played a bunch of practices with both our team and then would stay on the ice. So he'd have goalie training that would then bleed into our practice and maybe into Coach McQuaid's. He'd miss dinner constantly because he would be skating in both sessions. He's taken tremendous strides as an individual within the community and within the program this year. And our second coach's award goes to Ben Ashton.
Come on up, guys. Try not to embarrass you too much. Coach Steph, that was remarkably fast. Well done. All right, guys. So I had a root canal about 3 hours ago, so if I don't speak quite clearly enough, this side of my face still feels a little droopy. thank you for Coach Tump. I guess he's not up here. For his help all season long. And then Paige Colburn, excellent scorekeeper and manager. Thank you so much. Good work. This was definitely my last season coaching basketball at Tilton, but it was also for 7 of these guys too. And we came together to have a really good season. It was a COVID season for sure. After our December 15th win over Brewster, we never had the whole team together again. COVID went through the whole team, including me, but never prevented us from playing the game. We showed up at games with 7, 8, or 9 guys, and we never had 10 for practice either. We ended up with an 8-8 overall record and beat almost every Lakes Region team at least once. We had some memories that I at least will remember for a long time. The smile on Jack Christo's face when he grabbed a rebound and laid it in at the halftime buzzer at Brewster while their players stood around looking at each other and their coach yelled at them was awesome. Tobias' presence around the basket, his sense of humor, and his three-point shooting exhibition at the Cardigan Jamboree when we had a puke stoppage. Jake hustling, rebounding, hitting left-handed floaters, especially against his old team, Brewster. At least once, usually more times a game, Nick would put a move on and finish a flashy drive to the basket. Jet's steady leadership and his ability to handle any and of all kinds of pressure. Also, our one and only captain. Uray's speed and steals, especially in the first Proctor game when he stole the ball and went the distance repeatedly on that big old court. Tanner going for 30 points on his old coach at Holderness, along with many other great games. Cody's personal highlight film where he scored 7 points in about 30 seconds on an array of flashy plays, including a three-pointer and an acrobatic reverse layup. Jack Twarog having a day in our last Proctor game. We were down 10 in the second half against a team we'd beaten easily early in the year. And Jack just started scoring from all over the court. When he was done, we had the lead on our way to another close game win. In the same game versus Proctor, Hyler decided to get every rebound in the second half, helping us secure that win. Finally, I have one award, the Coach's Award. It goes to Sutton Ursillo for playing the game with full effort at all times. Several of our wins were direct result of his effort on the defensive end, along with a relentless desire to finish drives to the basket, no matter who was in his way. Congratulations, son. Well done, guys. It was a pleasure, and thank you.
Obviously, this year was a little more challenging than others. Before I get into our team and what we did this year, I first want to thank Saunders and Coach Brisson for giving Coach Burns the opportunity to get back into prep school basketball again. I did this as a player. I've done it for a coach close to 20 years on the prep school level. To be back involved in it again is just something that I'll never be able to thank them enough for giving me that opportunity. So thank you very much. Obviously this year, as far as wins and losses went, it probably didn't go the way they wanted it to be or the way anyone wanted it to be. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. For people that don't know, I probably came in 6 weeks after school started. So thank goodness Coach Brisson was able, which any other team would have broken up, would have broken apart, would have found an excuse, would have pointed a finger, may have given up or quit, but they didn't do that. That shows you the attributes of these young men. But again, the character in this group is tremendous, something that you all should be proud of. In life, you're going to be faced with challenges. They face a challenge head on. Never made an excuse, never didn't complain that often, never made an excuse, or I wouldn't listen to the excuse. To be honest with you, our first game against McDuffie was here at home. That was the first time these guys actually went 5-on-5. We went 4-on-4, 3-on-3 from when I first got here, from when they first got here, all the way to the first game. The first time we had the opportunity to go 5-on-5 was against McDuffie. With 5 minutes and 22 seconds left against McDuffie, it was a tie game. Unfortunately, their strength and their depth got the best of us, but it shows you the type of group that you have here, that they didn't make an excuse. They stay together and can continue to fight the whole year. Ups and downs throughout the whole year. High points of the year is probably how we finished the year out. We finished the year out winning 3 out of our last 6 games, which it could have been so easy, as I said, to pack it in. We had lost 11 games in a row during a COVID strike, not only on campus, but all amongst the team. And they didn't make an excuse, continue to fight, and they stayed together. First award that I'd like to give out is the Captain's Award. The first Captain Award, he was really the coach. He coached the team when I first got here. He kept the team together. Some coaches have philosophies that they allow their kids to choose captains. I like my team to choose captains. When I got here, by watching him, how he behaved, how much he cared about the school's program, how much he cared about the colors, made it so easy. There was never a day that we named him a captain or he was selected a captain. He was just a captain, because everyone know it. So first captain is Torn Boswell. The second captain is a little bit different. We didn't have a second captain when we started out, and we played in Cushing's tournament, and we lost by a large number of points. And I can remember going through the dorms and checking in on all the guys and seeing how upset they were. But there was this one individual that I could tell cared so much about the program, cared about himself, his family, everyone else on the team, and Torn needed help. So it made it so much easier for him that we came back from Christmas. It was an easy selection. We selected Jacob. He was the captain as well. Okay, first award. Okay. If you would have shown me this award when I first got here, I thought this gentleman was going to be a professional bowler. When I walked in the gym and looked at him the first day I walked in the gym, and looked at his physique, and not that mine's any good himself, but I have excuse, I'm older. When I looked at his physique, he did not look like a basketball player. And where he's at right now, and how hard this individual has worked, and how much he cares about his appearance and his haircut, how much he's worked in the weight room, how much conditioning he's done. If you would have told me, and the guys will remember this, we were playing Proctor at Proctor, and the game got over with, we were celebrating in the locker room, and I turned around and I pointed at this individual and I asked our captains, I said, did this guy just play the whole game? Did he play the whole game and not come out? He did. The most improved player from day one to where he is today and where he's going to be in years from now is Noah Guglielmo. I would trade bodies right now, to be honest with you. And he went and the typical him, he goes to Costa Rica. My wife's in Panama. I tell you, going to Costa Rica, you have to wear sunscreen. You gotta tan yourself. Him being a smart derriere, he doesn't. I got a text message from Costa Rica the first night he was there telling me, what did you tell me?
I got sunburned.
Yeah, very, very badly, and he got himself some aloe, and he was able to get himself through it. So he's come a long way. He's definitely the most improved. Next award, Coach's Award. Coach's Award is different for different coaches as to how they emphasize Coach's Award, what is important to you. A Coach's Award is someone to me that no matter what happens, no matter what the score is, no matter how adverse practice is, they're in your corner. No matter what the score, you don't want to practice, how many guys are at practice, what the situation is, they're always in your corner. And this gentleman, I swear, he did not go to the trainer, which is probably good because it would have hurt us. I think he dislocated his shoulder twice during practice this year. Ran to half court, shook it out, got back in drills again. Then after the COVID scare, we were in the middle of one practice, and I saw him holding his chest. I went over with my hand to his chest, and his heart was racing, and I ran to the trainer's room. They took his pulse, and it was like, I'm not even going to say the number. It was a very large number. This kid cares so much. He's got a heart of a lion, unbelievable parents. I would take him in any foxhole, and he did. All right. The last award, most valuable player. I don't like a lot of individual awards, but this kid, I think he's the most valuable person, not only to the team, but to athletics, to the campus. He's put 4 years into this place. He's been through, 2 different coaches. I don't know how many different assistant coaches, how many different players have he played with. Probably played with over 30 kids, and he's never made an excuse. He's never complained. Has he made excuses? No. Never made excuses. Never complained. Actually, as you know, our second to last game at Holderness, he scored his 1,000 point. Our last game, when we played against Proctor at home, we get down 14 early because we enjoy doing that. He ended up scoring 29 points, won the game for us. He had about 37 family members who were there, so we had to stop. We had to stop the game at the half because there's so many people there, so many pictures that needed to be taken. But when I first got here, Torrin asked me, he said, "Coach, can you please ask me how to play point guard?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, most of the guys on the team don't know how to dribble, so you're probably going to have to play point guard." He had never ran that position before. He had never played that position before. Running a point is not an easy position, especially playing for me. We run plays. I'm a control freak. I have to have control of everything that's going on. And that was his responsibility. And it was not easy. And it was so unfortunate for him because early in the year, he really, really struggled. Didn't complain, didn't make excuses. But he was trying to lead this team. He was trying to learn how to be a point guard. Struggled, didn't make shots, turned the basketball over, was in a bad way. But continued to fight, continued to compete, never made an excuse. And as the year went along, he got better and better and better. And to be honest with you, I told him this the other day, by our peers, not myself, coach is not allowed to choose the award. By our peers, our coaches in our league, he was selected as an all NEPSAC player, Torrin Bosworth.
Hi, guys. So I know it doesn't look like it, but I'm actually Coach McLean. He can't make it today, so he has sent me his remarks, so I will be reading his unedited remarks today. So picture Coach McLean right now. So on behalf of Coach McLean, good evening, everyone. I am so sorry that I cannot attend the athletic awards ceremony in person. For those who don't know me, this was my first year as the girls varsity ice hockey coach at Tilton. I'm a lawyer by profession, so it's not in my nature to keep anything short and brief. But I know Coach Popoff will kill me if I make her stand up here any longer than she'd like. Very true. It may be super weird for Coach Popoff to read this, but words cannot express my gratitude to her for her passion and commitment to the team. You are an amazing partner to coach with, and school was lucky to have you. You made my transition to Tilton so easy, and I'm forever grateful. I'd also like to take a quick moment to thank Miss Saunders and Miss Brisson for the opportunity to be part of the Tilton School. I loved every minute of hockey season up here. And also I'd like to thank Miss Johnson for all her help with everything big and small to make our season run smoothly. Finally, I'd like to publicly thank Coach McQuaid for all of his help. You were an incredible resource to me from day one, and I appreciate your friendship, guidance, and all you do to support me and the entire hockey community at Tilton. Here, our record was 8 wins, 13 losses, and 1 tie. We started the season slowly as the players and the coaches got accustomed to each other, but we really started to hit our stride before winter break. We had 2 wins and 1 loss in the Portsmouth Abbey Christmas tourney, and we won 3 out of our last 4 games going into the winter break. Unfortunately, we lost that momentum when COVID grabbed a hold of the team coming back from winter break, and at times, we were down to only 6 players on the ice for practices in January. As a result, we had some games canceled and started slow when we resumed. But what I love about this group is how resilient they were all season. It's easy to be positive when things are going your way and you're on a winning streak. But true character is shown when you face adversity. This is a tough group of young women. They continued to work hard and supported each other, and as a result, we began to regain our momentum towards the end of the season. We gave an outstanding effort against a very skilled St. Paul's team and finished the season on a 3-game winning streak, including a 3-2 overtime win in our final game against Brewster, capped off by a highlight reel goal by junior forward Sophia Brea. To the girls on the team, thank you. I am so proud of the effort you gave and how you never quit. I feel so blessed and thankful to be your coach, and I can't wait till next season with you. And I know you will continue to work hard this offseason. To the seniors, thank you for everything you gave to this program. We will be rooting for you next year and the years to come. I know that I was hard on you at times, and I'm sure you didn't quite know what to make of this crazy old man coming in during your last season at Tilton. But you all responded to each and every one of my challenges, and I was so proud to coach you this year. While we never officially named captains at the beginning of the season, all 5 of the seniors proved themselves worthy of wearing the C on their jersey, and therefore all 5 will be officially recognized as our team captains for the 2021-2022 season. So captains Sarah Schutte, Isabella Marzano, Diana Poland, Riley Ganter, and Sydney Baxter. She's not here. Okay, so on to the awards. So first of all, most improved. We will be awarding this to a senior who had amazing growth both on and off the ice over her years at Tilton. Most improved player goes to Isabella Marzano. We have 2 coaches awards who we are going to give to 2 students that came every day with enthusiasm and just a desire and a love for the game of hockey. This will go to Diana Poland and Riley Ganter. And finally, our most valuable player will go to junior Samantha Babbitt. Thank you.
You guys have been a great audience so far. Let's keep it up. Nice going. Give yourselves a hand. Nice going, audience. Nice going. Okay, so this is the JV basketball team. I want to start by thanking everybody Ms. Brisson did at the start. I don't know if we have parents in the background, in the back there. Parents, for your support during our season. It was terrific as well. Two folks in particular I want to point out with me up here. Mike Connolly, Caitlin's dad, and Lori Shepard, Cam's mom. Lori's been with us for a couple of years. This is Mike's first year with us, and they have been so terrific. Their work every day at practice, the girls love them. And thank you very much, you guys. And I cannot miss Miss Gadd. Miss Gadd was one of my assistant coaches last year. She went on the road this year, and her job was to recruit a practice squad. And every Tuesday we had a practice squad. Miss Gadd, if you're in the room, I don't see you here, but I really appreciate your work in setting us up with a practice squad. on Tuesdays. I also want to point out something that Mr. Burns just said, Coach Burns said about his team. Coach Burns, what you said about your team is absolutely true, that they just fought and fought and fought. Your team was an inspiration to this team. I want you to know that. Nice going, you guys. We finished 11-1. We had 19 or 20 games on our schedule, but there were some teams that just that didn't field the JV team, and it's too bad. It's too bad they didn't. But the team that we lost to actually went on to, it was a varsity team, and it went on to win the Class D championship, the NEPSAC Class D championship. So, and we were close to being tied at halftime against that team. This is a terrific JV team. This is a really good JV basketball team. We saw the way Coach Brisson's team plays defense. We saw the fight in Coach Burns's team. And we said to ourselves at one point in early January, look, we can be that. We can fight. And we can play defense the way Coach Brisson's team plays defense. We can do that. And we did. And we did. Teams that were close in the first half of the season, we blew out in the second half of the season. And it's because these girls decided to work at their defensive game. We're not a great offensive team, but man, can this group play defense and rebound. So girls, for reasons that are now clear to me and my family and us, this was physically a sort of difficult winter for me. Going into the gym every day with you just made this winter so special. I loved going into the gym and doing that with you. So thank you very much. Caitlin and Allie, step forward, please. Our two capitanos. Yeah. Look, you can see them right here. They could be sisters, right? They are so totally different, right? Caitlin has a mouth. We'll just say that. Caitlin, that's true. Allie, sometimes I wonder if she has a mouth. They lead in completely different ways, and they both are effective. Caitlin is a communicator. Allie leads by example. Allie, you should know this is her fourth year with this program. Allie, I've loved coaching you on the basketball floor. Thank you both for your work as captains and your work on the floor. You guys are terrific. Thanks very much. We have two awards. The MIP, look, and so many of these girls could win the MIP. I decided to go with someone who ended up shooting the three from time to time. Didn't play a lot in the years past, but decided in her sophomore year that she missed me as her English teacher, and she just needed to be back in the room with her English teacher again. So and that would be Ella Stanley. And from time to time, Ella would surprise everybody with a steal. She would shoot the three. She'd dribble up and down the floor. She'd grab a rebound and start the break. Something that she she didn't do it at the start of the season. So Ella Stanley, you are the MIP. And we will finish with one last award. It's not a coach's award. It's a hustle award, and essentially it's the award that goes to the girl whose body is sprawled out on the basketball floor more often than any other player on the team. This is a girl who goes for it, who dives out of bounds to save the ball, who gets to the floor, who is willing to bang against our opponent's biggest players under that the hustle award. She just works and works and works, not just during a game and not for stats, because this is what this kid does. She hustles. Our hustle award goes to Elizabeth Larson. Thanks again, girls. What a great season we had. Nice going.
Told him, formal. We good? So I know we're second to last, but some thank yous have to come in order. Coach Brisson, Miss Johnson, athletics, athletic training room, Mr. Preston, the equipment room. We have a lot of stuff. Jerseys, practice socks, gloves, like he does a tremendous job. Miss McCandless on the clock. It's a cold rink, and it's a long winter, so thank you. And then they're not here, but the maintenance staff, Tim Walter, Lesha Monahan, they do so much work to keep our ice the way it needs to be. So we can't, and the kids can't thank them enough for all the work they do. We had rink issues, obviously, in the fall. They're just, they're the best. My managers, Wilson and Charlie, it's hard to find good managers. They were super consistent, kept me on my toes. Vermont Academy showed up, and they had no jerseys. So we lent them some white jerseys, which I thought was the right thing to do. And Wilson didn't agree. This is not a joke or just to make you laugh. Like I had to talk him into not going down to Vermont Academy's locker room to give them choice words because he thought it was he didn't think it was the right thing to do. But I said we need to play the game. Just be the manager. So Coach Teft and Coach Dawson for all your work with the B team. Coach Lacasse, number one, he's just a great friend. So I'm grateful that we get to coach together. And your support and dedication to the development of all of our players is unbelievable. Our captains who get their medals of honor, Matt Baraldi is our captain, and then our assistants are Leo Piendas, Noah Leithman, and Clem. So give those to those guys. I do want to say something about Clem though. So Clem tore his ACL last April, and we sat outside by the quad, and he told me that he was going to have surgery. Where are you? Just come over here now. He told me he was going to have surgery, and the first thing I said to you was, we need to get another goalie, and you said whatever is best for the team. So he, which in my opinion takes an extraordinary amount of effort, discipline, resolve to commit yourself to the unknown. He didn't know if he would come back. And the good news is we didn't get another goalie. So I said to him, when you are ready, you will go. And shout out to Mealy and Waldron for really carrying the mail. Those are our other two goalies. And not knowing if he would ever come back. But he did come back on senior night. We won 9-2. Went on to play again against Holderness in a tough game that we lost. And then our last game against New Hampton, he won. So I think this kid deserves a round of applause. So real quick, we went 13-10-1. We were top 10 in New England for best goal differential. We were at 110 goals scored. Gave up 75, so we were averaging about 4.5 goals per game, which is really, really good. Our power play was just over 21%, and our PK was a little over 80%, which are also great numbers. And we had 4 players with over a point per game and one guy who averaged over 2 points per game, and that's Matt Hale. Coach Lacasse is going to do the MIP and the MVP, and then I'll be back with the Coach's Award and a little slice of heaven.
All right. First of all, I want to quickly thank Coach McQuaid. Just it's an inspiration day in and day out to show up to the rink. And we're up here, the 25 of us, but he's built an entire program of 40 plus kids every year. The work that takes, recruiting, the placement, find a home for every one of these seniors to play next year. And just, he makes it so I want to show up to the rink every day, him and the guys, and it's the time of my life. And thank you guys all for that. Now to the awards. So our most improved player and MVP are actually voted on by the players. So you might argue that it means a little more because, I mean, what do Coach and I know? So as voted by the players, the most improved award goes to somebody who it's their first year here this year. They're a junior, so we're expecting big things out of them next year. Through the year, his role increased quite a bit to getting a lot of power play time at the end and really getting more and more ice time. And that goes to Andrew Tice. So the vote this year for MVP ended up being pretty lopsided, with one person getting over 60% of the vote. A lot of times what you see happening when you show up to the game is the person who scores all the goals sort of getting all the credit and all the glory in the moment. But what a truly good defenseman can do is they really control play in all three zones. And that's what Noah Leithman did for us this year. He broke the puck out. He controlled the puck in the neutral zone. He helped the offense in the offensive end. All right, so this year's MVP goes to Noah Leithman.
So the one thing I do want to say before I give out the coaches award, which will be the end for us of this this presentation, is this is my 7th season coaching here, and in that time, the largest group that we brought back had 9 players, which was a big deal. We went on to win the New England Championship that year. Next year, we bring back 12 kids. So it's a really, really big deal for this program that we had this many juniors and sophomores. So it's really, it's a positive. The kids are optimistic, and it's a great group coming back. It'll be tough to see the seniors and PGs move on, but it's a good core. Coaches award, you know, it's on the onus of a coach, the coaching staff, to build a culture in the locker room, taking responsibility, all the things that a leader is supposed to do. When you get captains and leaders that take what your message is and they really put it in motion, they embrace it, and they do it every day, it makes my job a lot easier, Coach Lacass's, and we're better as a group. This kid has been here for 4 years. He bleeds black and gold. He's well respected on campus. He comes from a great family. He does the little things right. There's no question the Coaches Award should go to Matt Beraldi. Thank you. Yep.
Okay, like Coach McQuaid said, I know it's tough to be last to present because everyone's hungry and we're what stands between you and dinner. So just please bear with me. This team, this group of girls deserves your utmost attention for what they were able to accomplish this winter. There were many tears in the locker room after our loss to Tabor in the championship, but I personally could feel nothing but proud. We have just over 200 students in our school. We are competing in the highest class of NEPSAC girls basketball against schools whose average number of students is around 800, against schools who view us as a small school from northern New Hampshire just trying to make it to the big leagues. I've always said that being underestimated is the most powerful tool you can have, and that is absolutely what motivated our team this season. Metaphorically speaking, I believe that there are 3 types of people: those who do not fight, those who do fight, and those that are looking for a fight. This season, I got to coach a group of girls looking for a fight every time they stepped on the floor. No, not a physical fight, okay? So I'm not talking about punching somebody, but a fight defined as being the toughest team in between the lines, never backing down from a challenge, and seeing every opportunity or every opponent as something standing in their way of improvement. Our fighting spirit allowed us to finish the season with a record of 23-3. We lost our first game by 4 points on the road and then went on a 20-game win streak. We won the Lakes Region Championship. That's our 12th league championship in the past 13 years. In our first season in Class AA, we competed in the NEPSAC Championship, making it the program's 11th championship game experience in the last 13 years. I told them this after our final game, but this team hit me in my soul. This is the type of team that reminds you why coaching is indeed the best job in the world. Thank you to our amazing managers, Maria and Molly. Yeah, you both came up here. They did not skip a beat. They made it to almost every game in practice and made it so I personally and Coach Eddie never had to worry about a thing. So thank you guys. Thank you. Also, by the way, I asked Coach Edwards if he wanted to give any of these awards. He declined 3 separate times, including in the last 5 seconds when I said, "You sure you don't want to talk?" Everybody's sick of hearing me. Thank you to the scrimmage squad, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Goodwin, Mr. Richmond, Mr. Moreland, Mr. Woodman, Nico, Jean, Yere. You guys always had us more than ready for game days. A special thank you to my guy, Eddie. Come on out here. We would not be the team we are without Coach Edwards. His dedication to these girls has them constantly laughing or ready to compete. I'm glad that I finally found someone who stands and yells more than me on the sideline. Thanks, Coach. So as a coaching staff, we can admit we're not the biggest fans of individual accolades. Every single one of these student athletes deserves the utmost praise for their time and effort that they give to this program on a daily basis. Although we could have given similar to what Coach Burns said, a lot of people improved. Coach Landross said it too. Every single one of these kids could have got the most improved award from where they started to where they ended. We went with 2 individuals. Our first most improved award goes to a player who went from being noticed on the court because she was one of the tallest to being noticed because she was one of the toughest. As her confidence built over the course of the season, this player showed she could compete with anyone at any moment. We watched her go from hardworking and somewhat lost defensively to taking charges and pushing people through screens. We are excited for the next 2 years with Sophia, as we are convinced her work ethic and desire to always improve will only allow her to reach her full potential on and off the court. Our first most improved player award goes to sophomore Sophia Lagoon. Eddie gets a hug too. Our second most improved award goes to another sophomore who started her Tilton career with a bang, scoring 20+ points in her first couple of games as a Ram. Teams started to scout her offensively, and she felt the change in level game in and game out. Instead of letting this challenge defeat her, she pushed through, improving her work ethic, especially defensively. She has just scratched the surface of what she is capable of in the NEPSAC, and we are excited to see her continued growth over the next 2 years. Our second most improved player award goes to sophomore Ava Woodman. Okay. Similar to our most improved, it was difficult, if you guys got to watch our team play, to choose just one most valuable player. For our program, this award is given to those on your team that you'd struggle to achieve your goals without. Not just on the court, but in the locker room, on bus rides, and in practice. The most valuable player must be reliable, and when challenged, can rise to meet that challenge. It is hard to believe most days that she's only a sophomore with the amount that I yell at her, but this is a credit to her desire to improve and improve in all facets of the game. Her individual accolades speak for themselves, but Annae's value to this program, and I believe she would agree, is much more than that. Her maturity, poise, and growth as a player and as a person has allowed her to help push this team to the next level. We are excited to get 2 more years of coaching her, challenging her, and watching her shine. Our first most valuable player award goes to sophomore guard, Annae Adams. The second most valuable player goes to someone I will publicly admit in front of everyone is way tougher than me. It's really hard for me to say. Emotionally, mentally, and physically, Alyssa Moreland has to be the toughest kid I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. She has had to fight her way back from 2 knee injuries, only to prove time and time again she is one of the most dominant players to ever play in the NEPSAC. She takes no possessions off, diving after loose balls and plowing through the paint for rebounds. Honestly, it'll be really hard to imagine Tilton School basketball, girls basketball, without her next year. Brown is absolutely getting a good one, and I am super jealous. I asked her to stay. She said no. Our second most valuable player award goes to senior Alyssa Moreland. I swear I'm almost done. Our final award this evening is our Coaches Award. So our Coaches Award is given to a player who is devoted to the team above themselves, who without hesitation would do whatever needed for the team to be successful. I talked about this in my early speech, so I hope you were listening. Facing injuries in athletics, having the thing that means the most to you ripped away suddenly is one of the hardest things to deal with. Sophie George never changed who she was to this team. Every day she showed up, every day she worked, every day she was the best teammate, even though she was never going to step foot on the floor for her senior year. By the end of the season, she was our 3rd coach, talking to her teammates individually, telling them what she saw. Sophie, I am so proud of you, the resilience you showed, and what you taught me about being selfless and a better person. We were a better team this year because of you. Our Coaches Award this year goes to senior Sophie George. Okay, so this concludes our ceremony for this evening. Let's give one more round of applause to everybody, please. All right. A reminder, if you did receive an award, please stay after to have your picture taken. Oh, you can too.